beautiful soul, as we ascend, as we continue our beautiful ascension journeys, we remember that we came to Earth for this life because we came to literally support Gaia to reconfigure her whole grid architecture. We came to work within the crystalline grids, and what we said yes to was that we take human form, we take physical form, and just by being physical, we're able to interface with the whole network here, and our codes would enter the field and start to repair, awaken the crystalline grids that already exist on this planet. And some of us are also here because we're grid builders within our oversoul, within our soul's journeys. We've literally acquired the codes, the mission directives to build grids and to anchor grids and to hold grids. And so if you're here, it tells me that this is part of why you came to Earth, because you are a grid, gorgeous, a grid keeper. You're someone who, just by being here, impacts the whole grid work. Some of you are very conscious and you go to certain places around the world and you're guided to places to anchor your frequency, to alter the grids, to raise the frequency of the grids. Give me a yes in the chat if you're aware of the fact that you get called to places to do this. So many goosebumps already. Yes, 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 yes. Sata u iktiara hata u iktiara satai satai. And so what I wanted to share with you was the crystalline grids of this planet are literally being awoken, repaired, rebirthed to support a new Earth, to support the new Earth to fully stabilize, where within those grids, more and more people will activate to build something, build cities of light, temples of light, healing centers. Everything's getting built within a totally different grid architecture. And we today are expanding the crystalline grids. Not only are we working within them, we're actually allowing the crystalline grids of this planet to evolve. That's why this event's special, because the crystalline grids are literally upgrading. Everything evolves, everything ascends. There is no stop, And so just like within us, there is all of this grid work that's evolving, expanding, just like we are taking a journey, shifting our grid work, upgrading 3D inner grid work to 5D inner grid work and shifting our consciousness to remember so much more. Gaia is going through this transition too. And now anchoring even deeper and welcoming in. There have been, as you all I'm sure know, advanced civilizations, golden ages of existence on this planet. Lemuria, Atlantis, the golden ages of Egypt, Avalon, Shambhala, Huta Iktiara Satui 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 Huta. And today we connect to the grid work. We're literally connecting, we're anchoring, we're adding, we're stabilizing, we're building onto the crystalline grids of the planet and anchoring through the grids that already exist, the crystalline grids that were formed through these ancient civilizations in their highest frequency within the higher realms to expand. And I wanted to take a moment for those of you that may not have as much knowledge of grids, your soul does, and maybe your human part of you yet hasn't. We can just take a little side note now to look at what is a grid. And a grid, literally, there are grids upon grids upon grids upon grids within us, within this planet, within the galaxy, within the universe. And within the grid itself is, well, let's put it slightly differently. A grid will be the architecture, and you can place within that grid that's resonant to the grid. And so when we're looking at crystalline grids are fifth dimensional and above grids. What that means is they're literally constructed in a completely different formation to a third density grid. And so today, we're going to be going on a deep dive into looking at business and how business was built within a third dimensional architecture. Business itself, and there's nothing wrong with it, business exists within grids that, how do you put this? Within a different form of grid work. And for many of us, we just don't resonate to go into that grid. no different to there are certain grids that you've left behind in your ascension journey, certain environments that you just don't resonate with anymore. And there's nothing wrong with it. Other people can be there and play there. However, when you're there, your energy vibration goes down. So even though business has a higher dimensional frequency, there are higher, aspects of business, heart-centered business. The actual architecture of business itself, the grid work, is very different to what's available to us to play in. And eventually we get to a point where we outgrow it. And that's what this event's about. This event is about talking about the fact that we live within grids. And if we have a different grid to go into that's more resonant to us, when we stabilize into that grid, we are able to continue ascending, continue evolving so much more gracefully, with so much more joy in our heart. Give me a yes if you've ever gone to a physical location on this planet, and just by being in a different location, you have felt yourself open up, your atoms open up, the frequency feels divine, right? Yes, 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 yes. Because every place has a grid architecture, and woof, yes, 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 totally, everyone. Right? And so this is exactly what we're talking about. Yet when it comes to, and then I recommend for those of you that, quite a lot of us have already taken moves. We've moved into different locations. We've moved further away from cities. For a lot of us, we're not able to reside in the heart of a city. And some of us are still there anchoring our light. Yet for some of us, we can't. We move further and further away from cities, from the architecture built within the 3D grids, because the cities literally hold the heartbeat of 3D grid work that then spans out. And the further we go, into nature, we actually feel more resonant. Our atoms start to come alive. And that's not everyone. There are people that resonate more still with being in the other grids. That's just where they're meant to be. There are souls on this planet that are not meant to ascend. They're not meant to anchor and shift into different grids in this lifetime. They literally came to Earth to stay within 3D architecture, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's divine. Yet if you're here, I don't think you're one of those souls, because this message would not resonate with you. And so, gorgeous friends, when we look at a grid, and grids take so many different forms, they take so many different shapes. This image on the screen I shared with you because it kind of, it represents this in such a beautiful way. There are literally grids within grids within grids within grids. So many of us find ourselves in grids unconsciously. That, especially when it comes to our service, our mission, so many souls activate their missions, have their offerings, their unique gifts, products, services coming through them. Yet these products and services are literally coded light. They're meant to be shared with others because they shift and transform, open portals, they open timelines, they create worlds. And when we take that kind of magic that's flowing through us and we work within a third dimensional architecture, we actually find ourselves getting tired. It can drain our energy, and it's hard to build within that structure. There is another structure. And so first, I just wanted to take this moment to say that we truly did come here to repair grids, to restore grids, to create grids, and to hold and anchor grids. And today marks this beautiful, amazing point in history, because today, a grid that I've been holding for the last couple of years with the Souls in New Earth Mission Collective is literally being anchored throughout the planet. And I thank you so, so much for being here.